Greetings. I am Erin Patton, metaphysical master in a millennial age, and it is my life's purpose to guide you and organizations along an enlightened path. So I invite you to sit comfortably and tune in as I welcome you to the Meta Business Millennial, where we get the real conversations you won't get in the boardroom so that we understand this is exactly the path we need to be on in order to grow, evolve, and thrive. Greetings. I am Erin Patton, also known as Master L, and welcome to today's Meta Business Millennial live podcast. I am here with you all live today on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. And I feel like it's been a while since I've been live. So if you haven't already, follow me across social media at I am Erin Patton. Also, share this video with a friend, leave a comment, drop me a message in the DM if you feel compelled, because this message needs to be heard, seen, and heard. And so I really appreciate all of you who are sharing the love and sharing the message. And today is the day after Labor Day. Usually I go live on Monday. Today is Tuesday. Yesterday was a holiday, a national holiday. And I am just really wanting to inspire you and inspire the collective around getting back to work. And I want to talk about it in a way that really doesn't feel like work. You know, I really am all about, especially for the meta business world and our ethos, all about work feeling like fun, work feeling like pleasure, work feeling like fulfillment. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit about how we can get back to work, particularly these last quarter of the year, these last 3 months of the year, with a lot more power, with a lot more comfortability, with a lot more ease. And so let's just get into that. And the reason why I want us to start to look at work as something that's more fun, as something that's more pleasurable, is because this is what's going to be able to sustain us for many, many years, for the decades that we have for this life. Because for me, I always saw myself enjoying longevity in work, enjoying longevity in my lifetime, enjoy happiness in my work. And in order to do that, it has to feel fun. Like we have to wake up and feel like, okay, yes, I'm ready to do this. And I must say that there's so many folks, particularly in leadership roles, that don't necessarily wake up like with that eagerness, with that just joy, if you will. Like there's really a seriousness to the work. There's really like like a almost a punishing drill sergeant like mindset when it comes to doing work. And we have to be able to have the courage to release that and really be open to, I would like to call, higher levels of emotions around the work that we do. And we get to that place by really aligning ourselves with our careers, with our purpose, and aligning our purpose with that work. And the more that we are driven by purpose, and I know there's the famous book, The Purpose Driven Life, when we're more purpose driven in the work that we do, then it feels more like fun. It feels more like fulfillment. And it doesn't feel like the punishment drill sergeant that we're used to. And I know this energy so well because that was my path. And I share this so much on the podcast about my story and how I went to Harvard and University of Texas and did all these things in my career because I had such like a very hard disciplinarian, drill sergeant like mindset and upbringing. And that is really what was keeping me going all those years, but I wasn't happy doing it. I really was in many ways just following a model that I thought would work and burned me out, for just to, long story short. And that essentially is what happens when we are really just working, working, working. And I was just talking with someone yesterday whose like motto is about like to outwork the next guy or to outwork anybody, but really was doing it to his own detriment in some cases. And so I just really want to call out to folks that when we are working ourselves, and I did a podcast about this, working ourselves to death, it really can be a disservice to who we are and what we're trying to achieve and what we're trying to accomplish. So now that we've kind of laid that groundwork and really started to get more clarity, if you will, around what it means to be working in like as a conscious being, as a high conscious being, as a divine being. You know, we are really wanting to look at work as fun, look at work as play, look at work as pleasure, because of how the energy of that emotion gives us so much more power. So that's like the first tip. Since I'm walking through the tips of how we can lead more powerfully when we're going back to work, really orienting yourself around, okay, this is fun. This is playful. Like I'm going to the playground. You know, like I'm not going to the office. I'm going to the playground. I'm laughing. I'm enjoying myself. I'm fully open and expressive with my peers, with my colleagues. And I'm not saying that you're going to have this tomorrow. I'm not even saying that you're going to have this next week. Yet, this is the direction in which we want to go as leaders in order to have more of that fulfillment. And it starts with us. And I want to always remind us as leaders that the change starts here. Change starts with you. Change starts with me. What I want to see and experience in my life, I need to start cultivating it vibrationally in how I feel. If I want to have a happier life, then I'm going to have to start cultivating more happiness in every aspect of my life. And, you know, how we're generally conditioned around work is I put on my work hat here, you know, I put on my mom, dad hat here, I put on my son, daughter hat here, and we're generally operating differently in different places. And I have to say, for some people, that's acceptable. Yet for people who are really wanting to lead, have wealth, you know, change the world, that kind of mode is not going to work. Of operating is not going to work. We're not going to be able to compartmentalize ourselves and compartmentalize our emotions and be successful and be powerful leaders. It's just not possible because you need all your energy, like all of your energy, directed in everything that you do. And when you start to like box things up and compartmentalize things, you're really blocking an energetic flow for yourself. When you're like, oh, I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to act like this. Well, then what about all these other aspects of yourself that you're blocking, that you're not acknowledging, or that you're punishing or shunning, or it's not appropriate? You're judging. So you really want to start working towards having a life of fullness and being able to bring every aspect of yourself everywhere you go. And I talk about this a lot in terms of authentic leadership, in that you want to be able to be who you are wherever you are. And it's interesting because I really use social media and this podcast as like my training ground, if you will, to practice this type of authentic being and sharing my life, not only like with my friends and with my family, but with myself. And even pushing boundaries for things that I say and things that I do and things that I post to really get comfortable with seeing me and being me. And I'm talking about social media so much in this podcast, you know, because of my own personal journey and insecurity around it and openness around it. And I'm really grateful for that journey because of what it's allowed me to see within myself. And being able to post my stories and being able to you know, say how I feel, whether it's, you know, something that's celebratory of myself, or you know, of my acknowledgement of my journey, or like just recently, you know, I posted a meme and I just got reminded because my friend that shared it just popped into the room, and it says, fuck social media, I'm dope in real life. Fuck social media, I am dope in real life. And, you know, being able to just post that in my Instagram story when I'm supposed to be this professional leadership coach and I'm cursing and I'm, you know, like, you know, just being kind of braggadocious, if you will, that is me walking in my authenticity, walking in where I am right now. That's just how I feel. And it's honestly very rare to see this, particularly from CEOs, from business leadership, just saying how the fuck they feel, dressing how they want, acting how they want, speaking how they want. I mean, of course, there's like Elon Musk, and there's some outliers that are really, I believe, walking in their highest potential. It may not be, everyone's favorite, character, but it's just where they are. Yet this is fundamental as we're moving in this path towards new earth leadership. You have to be able to own who you are, know who you are, and walk in that comfortably wherever you're at. And know that you are continually evolving. And I know that for myself because that is what I deeply desire. And actually, that's deeply what I work on is this continual evolution, this kaizen, this continuous improvement. And that is a huge opportunity for leaders and for getting back to work is understanding like there's always room for growth in myself, first and foremost, and also particularly, especially in my team and in my organization. It is about focusing on how can I grow myself enough so I can have the energetic capacity to hold more growth for my team and my business. Because that's actually how it works. It don't go the other way around. You're actually not able to grow your business unless you have the capacity to hold that space. And I talk about this too in my own journey and in other podcasts about how we have to be able to sequence our growth and work on ourselves in pursuit of that growth mission and vision. When you're able to articulate and see exactly where you want to go and know who you are and have those values in getting there, then you're really able to pace yourself and have a good flow, if you will, in getting to and achieving that vision and those goals. And so, along with, the authenticity and the vision and all of the note, these are all the tips that I'm speaking to that are really going to allow you that power in your leadership so that you can get back to work with more ease. Back to the first point, the playfulness, the pleasure, the fun, the happiness. And we really want to be able to have all of that and being able to do exactly what we want to do for that end of the year goal. So, for example, for me, I'm really focused on a rebranding, a refresh, if you will, that's happening for me in my business right now. And I have been working on it, I feel like, for some months now, yet I know in these next 3 months it's really going to start to come online. And I can even see that in my own being. Like I've been changing my hair and I've been, dressing more, fashionably. And, I'm really starting to embody the vision for which I want my business to go. I'm always talking about trillionaire business, $1 trillion business, working with billionaires. Okay, Aaron, if this is what you desire, let's be a vibrational match for this. What does it truly require to hold the space for $1 billion, $1 trillion business? And that is actually what I've been working on. And I talked about this last week in my retreat podcast around how I was doing my plant medicine ceremony. And I'm talking about intimacy and my embodiment and my soul retrieval and all of these very, very esoteric and metaphysical things that are actually required to prepare my being, my physical being, my emotional being, and my spiritual being for this very high calling. $1 billion business, $1 trillion business. I mean, how many billionaires do we know? I mean, even if we are in the echelons of business, there are still very few, particularly a woman in a black body, you know what I'm saying? Like, we rarely see this. And so for me to be wanting to be in pursuit of something that is unseen, then it's really going to take a lot of preparation that may not be seen by the naked eye, myself included. And so I'm saying all this for you to be able to start to understand, overstand as you're going along your journey. You may have these visions and these dreams and these goals that no one else can see, no one else has ever seen. And you have to be able to trust and believe that if this dream and this calling and this vision is upon you, then you have the capacity and the ability to see it through. And that is what the meta business world is here for. That is what this is what I came here to be able to support people like you with beautiful big dreams like you to be able to achieve them and do it gracefully, with ease, happily, pleasurably, and then have the life to experience it, enjoy, and the children and the family and the relationships that go with it. Because what we most often see, particularly in those paths to where people are being billionaires or successful business people, they sacrifice everything to get there. They sacrifice their relationships, their marriages, they sacrifice relationships with their children, they sacrifice their health, poor Steve Jobs. And we're seeing this too often in our rich and famous, wealthy people. I mean, even locally here in Houston, we have celebrities that have passed away. Beat King passed away recently, not just in Houston. Fat Man Scoop, another big artist. Like we have these great artists and great leaders who are, in my view, passing prematurely. Why? I mean, this guy, Beat King, really called himself the club god. He knew he had that God potential and that God energy, yet he was directing that, frankly, in the wrong direction. The club is not a sustainable place to be if you're doing it the way most club goers do it. Drinking heavily, hookah smoking, up all night, loud, loud music every day. That's really, really hard on the body and the being, if not coupled with especially recuperating, recovering activities, recovering, resting, self care. And we have to understand that as much as we know that our spiritual body and our being is, eternal, if you will, then we also have to acknowledge the finiteness and the mortality of our being, of our physical body. And with that in mind, understanding that we're bringing this kind of timeless energy with this very time encapsulated energy, and we're having to work together, meaning this physical body and this soul body, we need to be able to integrate. And that brings me to my last tip for powerful leadership is the self-care. So I talked about really creating an environment of pleasure in the workplace. Then I talked about this journey of authenticity and knowing yourself and really sticking to that wherever it is, and loving that. And then caring for yourself. Caring for yourself can look so many ways. And I talked about it briefly before around the non judgment. And I think that's one of the biggest things, particularly for leaders in this day and time, that we really want to start um, embodying more of is that love and care for ourselves wherever we are. And the being able to rest and recover our bodies, these temples. Because I know me, like I've been doing this for a while and I'm all about the self care. And I still go so hard where I'm getting sick. Like I was sick last week, having come back from my Tampa trip. And then my family was in town and we had a photo shoot. I had another photo shoot. And then we were going out. Like I was literally like, I need to rest. I need to sleep. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves that grace. We just keep going. We just keep pushing. We just pop some medicine and we keep going. Pop some painkillers, we keep going. And that's a very acceptable lifestyle. I saw it a lot with my parents. They never took breaks, they never took vacations, they never missed a day of work. I mean, they never missed a day caring for me. And it breaks my heart. Honestly, it breaks my heart because my dad is gone now and my mom is really on her journey with dementia. and really not able to be as she was. She's having to, experience a different form of, physical existence. And, I really know that had they been more caring of themselves, then their life trajectories could have been different. And actually, it was very much their experiences that inspired my own journey with caring for myself and knowing I need energy healing, I need therapy, I need all the things to support me and really reversing the curse. A lot of times we're familiar with generational curses or breaking the vicious cycle, the cycle of poverty, the cycle of hatred, the cycle of, all the things that are bad. It stops with us when we make that decision to care for ourselves, to put ourselves first. And that's really hard as leaders, I have to say, because we're so used to doing for others. We're so used to others relying on us that we will sometimes sacrifice ourselves for the group. What kind of sense does that make? As a leader, if you don't have the right succession plan for another leader to come up behind you, why would you sacrifice yourself for the group who can't lead themselves? Why would I sacrifice myself and I got a 4-year-old and a mom that can't care for herself? What they gonna do without me? And it's the same in business. You have your teams, you have your organization. Who gonna pay they paycheck? What work will they do without you? And of course, everybody's on their own journey. They may be on their own leadership journeys as well. But for right now, this is the position that you hold. So caring for yourself is necessary in order to continue to teach, in order to continue to guide, in order to continue to hold space for those that are around you. And so it's like the age old oxygen mask um, procedure on the airplane. When the oxygen mask comes down, you put your mask on first, and then you put the kid's mask on first, or whoever you're with mask on first. And this is the same in your journey as a leader, particularly in these next 3 months. It's really about focusing on how can I give myself what I need first before I pour out to someone else. What is it that I need? Asking yourself this question, even knowing that, having the awareness to ask yourself, what is it that I need right now? And I'm loving this questioning of self and listening also to myself because it's happening a lot now that I'm going through this fitness journey and this nutritional journey. And I'm really starting to awaken my senses of my physical needs and seeing like, am I really hungry still, Aaron? Do you need more snacks? Do you need some more fruit? Do you need this? Do you need that? Because I have all my meals already planned and I already know how many calories I need. Yet I still want to and have to intuitively listen to my body to see what I need. So I'm not lightheaded in the gym. So I'm not energetically low when I have to get into my business meetings. I have to question myself and ask myself, what do I need? And then listen to the response. Have the openness and the intuition, the connection to self to be able to hear myself respond. And I think this is something too that's really challenging for people is being able to hear that little voice inside because we've gone so long just kind of like an autopilot mode and just doing things and listening to other people. And of course, you're listening to this podcast, you're listening to podcasts, you're listening to your mentors, your family members, your mom and your daddy, and you really aren't tuning into your own voice. And so, as part of this self care, in addition to like the physical aspect of your being, is trying to be sure to listen to yourself in that self care, asking yourself, what do I need in this moment? Does this feel good for me right now? Does this feel not good for me right now? And being able to hear that response and then properly responding to that response, properly acting on that response. Because the saddest thing we can do as leaders for ourselves is break that trust with ourselves. Not answer that calling from ourselves. Because, if we don't trust ourselves, then of course it's going to be difficult to trust others. If you're saying, "Oh, I'm going to commit to eating well and sleeping a lot and going to sleep at night and doing these for myself," and you don't do it, then how can you be able to serve other people and trust in other people and have other people trust in you if you aren't keeping that trust within your own being and your own self? And I know this is very nuanced and it may not sound like that powerful, but when I tell you this is the only way to be able to grow and develop and have more of that ability and power to reach your potential, this is the only way. If you don't have a solid relationship of trust and understanding and care for yourself, then you might as well kiss your business goodbye. I mean, yeah, it may be successful, it may make a lot of money, but for how long? And will it be fun? Will it be enjoyable? Will the people that you surround yourself with appreciate you, show you love? We are absolutely a reflection of our exterior. Our internal world is a reflection of our external world. So that which you give to yourself, that which you cultivate within yourself will absolutely manifest externally around you in your business, in your life, in your relationships. So, caring for yourself is fundamental to make sure you have powerful leadership in this day and time going through the end of the year. And I want to start to wrap it up there. And I'm thankful for all the people that came into the room, even just to say hi and make yourself known. I see that we still have some folks watching, and so I just want to thank you all for tuning in. And I really hope, again, as you're going back to work this post Labor Day season, moving into this last quarter of the year, the end of the summer, oh my God, all the things that you really start to tap into these tips that I just shared with you today. The first one being making work like play, really finding ways to extract more pleasure from your work day. And then the second piece was, of course, around tuning into and being your true, authentic self wherever it is for you. And then take it to the next level, having the courage to share that, sharing it if just as little on social media, sharing it with your friends, sharing it with your work colleagues, even better. That vulnerability and that ability to be yourself is that authentic bridge, that empathetic bridge that truly starts to build trust, relationships, powerful prosperity, leadership, all those things. And then the third piece is around caring for yourself. So, if nothing else, of all of that, take care of yourself this season. Be easy with yourself, love yourself, give yourself what you need. Ask yourself that question, what do I need? And then give yourself the time and space to answer that question and then act on it. Whatever you're asking for and needing in that moment, be sure to give it to yourself with grace, okay? So I really thank you all so much for tuning in. If you're really wanting to grow more with this work, this energy work, this leadership work, I highly encourage you to tune into or tap into my website, erinpatton.com. Learn more about what I have to offer with the Meta Business world. I do the Meta Business VIP Day, which is essentially a keynote speaking engagement that also includes energy activation and some group exercises. And it's really an amazing opportunity to really start to get introduced to the world of metaphysics and business. And I also do my meta strategy work, which is a deeper dive with organizations to really start to explore your vision, your highest vision, and the values and roadmap to help you get there. And then last, of course, are my meta coaching offerings where I work one-on-one with leaders like you to get you exactly where you want to be. And in doing so with ease. So you can check out more about those offerings at erinpatton.com. And of course, follow me across social media platforms at I am Erin Patton. Leave me a comment, send me a DM, share this with a friend. I really want to know how you all are loving and enjoying and getting inspired by this message. And until our next episode, I love you all so much. Peace. Did you really love this episode of the Meta Business Millennial Podcast? Well, I am honored, and I appreciate you subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends, because your feedback allows us to co-create more enlightened conversations. And if you're interested in growing your soul now, head over to my website, aaronpatton.com, to find all the show notes, links, and free resources to get your energy activated today. In the meantime, stay bright, my friends. Much love and light. Peace.